what would be your comment be? If you have a choice, would you pick homeschool or regular school?
So for me, because I like to be in an actual classroom, I find it easier to focus and learn. And also because I like that social aspect of like being face to face with other peers and teachers. I would say I prefer to go into school instead of homeschooling. But it definitely worked out this year for a lot of homeschool students because it wasn't much of a change for their routine in terms of school. But it was also definitely a change. I know that a lot of homeschool students are maybe like athletes or have other things going on in their life. So they are able to focus on those things perhaps more during the quarantine.
Okay. Um, so no more driving either, right? You don't drive because of the quarantine.
No, not really. I mean, it's been definitely a change for my sister and I, who are used to driving 2 hours every day. But that's just adding more to the free time I have to spend at home. I'll play games with my family or play with my dog. So I have lots of free time for that.
Well, if you were able to create a question, I forgot to ask you, what would the question be? Could you say, hey, coach, you forgot to ask me this?
Oh, yeah. So maybe just something else, how the teachers kind of responded to online learning, at least at my school.
Right.
They were kind of, at least at my school, they were left in the dark almost as much as the students. And so they would have meetings to try to address some of the uncertainties that we were all facing, especially when we just came back from spring break and we were online for the first time. They weren't really sure what to expect in terms of exams or the rest of the year at all. And so our administration did not do a great job of addressing that. So in turn, that allowed the teachers to kind of sympathize with the students because they were going through a very similar process. We didn't know, they didn't know. And so they were much more flexible for students and they allowed us extensions, or they were just very sympathetic and encouraging to do as much as we could, also understanding that there's a pandemic going on and there's certain things that many families need to take care of, and they were just very helpful for students.
So what I'm trying to look into it here is you're sitting down 55 minutes in one place, and you have to do that 6 times a day. How you feel, how your eyes, how your head, do you feel any staring at the computer? Do you feel anything?
Yeah, so this was probably the hardest part of online learning, just sitting in a room for so long. I'm the type of person who likes to be active all day long. So when I'm at school, I have a pretty big campus and I'm able to walk from class to class and just like move around before I have to sit down for my next class for another 55 minutes. But online, you don't have that as much. And especially since all my family is in the same house, in the same room pretty much for most of the day, you're not moving as much. And so I would just feel tired. I'd get headaches from looking at the computer for so long. My back would just not feel great. But that's why I started exercising more during the quarantine. So since I had all that free time, I just thought, why not use it for something that's going to make me feel better? So I did yoga, which I also took at my school, and I do a lot of running, like I said before, with my father. So that was, yeah, also something. Looking for an opportunity, right?
Yes. So what is the road ahead for Rachel's? I know you got one more year before graduation. What is your plan? What do you want to be when somebody asks you, Rachel, 10 years from now, you're going to be, 27? What would you like to be?
So I'm not 100% sure, but I know that in the future I want to do something in English. And so next year, hoping that there's no virtual school, I'll be able to go to more English classes and focus on what I like versus what I'm required to take. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, college processes have been difficult lately just because we're not able to visit any schools and a lot of campuses are just closed down and they just want to keep everyone home so that they don't help the spread of COVID. But yeah, I just hope that I'll find my perfect place, go to a great college and focus on English. Maybe something I'll be working in communications or publishing. So, but we'll see.
So where is this interest in communications and publishing coming from? I don't know, none of your parents.
No, my parents don't work in anything relating to English, but I do. I've always loved to read a lot. I take English classes and I love to have like those types of discussions. And at school, they're really encouraging. So I've been working as a tutor for other students and also on my newspaper. So I've been exposed to a lot of writing scenes, and I definitely love it. So it's definitely a passion of mine. Just like tennis, play that also. But yeah, I love doing it, and I've been able to do it at my school. So it's been great.
Right. It's interesting. Every time you talk about publishing, writing English, your passion, I can feel it in your voice. If you have to, there's thousands and millions of books out there. If you have to recommend one book, what would that be?
Well, of course, my favorite is called All the Light We Cannot See, and it's just kind of a story, something that I think really relates to me because my family, it's about a family who's from Poland going through World War II, and it's interesting because my grandmother is 100% Polish, her family came from there, and my grandfather fought in World War II, so I think it's like pretty cool to read a different experience, and their accounts are true, the family story, and it's just incredible. So I think that's an amazing read, but I mean, I like to read everything, so.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are getting, it's so interesting as we get into, but we're getting close to the end. I give you the word to finish. If you have to close in your 17 years of experience with the COVID-19, with your hobbies and writing, and one day you hopefully will write a big book, everyone will read about it. Give us a conclusion.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on inside of Rachel, what Rachel's vision for the future is.
So something to leave the audience with, I would just say to try to be positive, especially right now. There's a lot going on, and to look for opportunity, not just now and every day, but in the future, and to remain hopeful and just follow their passions, spend time with their family, and try to enjoy each day because each day opens 100 more possibilities, which can lead to an amazing thing. So I think that's good.
Wow, that was a good line. And that sounds to me like an adult. That sounds to me like an
Thank
adult.
you.
Yeah. But thank you
you
so much. I would say merci beaucoup. And I really enjoyed that interview with you, how it came out. So I wish you all the best, and you are a great student and a great advice is to look up, be positive. Just life itself is better than nothing else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
Radio
thank you
Sekou,
so much.
if you just want to ask, that was Radio Sekou. Our guest was Rachel Mintz, who was teaching us about how to survive and take classes during COVID-19. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you.